If you've been watching my channel for a while, then you know that there is a certain type of list that showed up on a lot of my boards, particularly the ones that are productivity-based command centers and to-do lists. That was some version of the inbox or the brain dump or the mind dump, whatever you might call it. But I actually don't do that anymore. I use Trello's new built-in inbox feature, and I really want to show you guys why and how you can incorporate it into your workflow. But before we dive into this, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so that you never miss a tutorial or upload. Okay, so I've got one version of this up on the screen already. This is part of my training board, but you can see an inbox here where basically everything was going when it was a thought in my head or something that needed to be done, but it wasn't necessarily categorized yet or assigned maybe or given a due date. I also built it into the simple to-do list template, which you might actually have. Instead of calling it the inbox there, I called it the mind dump. Now, here's one small caveat, because there is still a reason that I would potentially use this if you are using this to-do list for teams, and that is for this delegated tasks option. That is a little bit different from how you would use inbox. So I will circle back to that in a minute and explain why. Now, let me just explain why my philosophy on this changed a little bit when the inbox was introduced into Trello. So many of you know that I use my mobile device a lot with Trello. And so that's why I steer away from power-ups a lot of the time, because they are not usable, most of them, inside of the mobile app. And I live on having that access in the palm of my hand, but also notifications and reminders and things like that. And so to me, everything that I build into my desktop version needs to be accessible in the mobile version. And to be fair, when I would have an idea, I could go into any of these boards, go into the mind dump and put it in there. But here's the problem I always had with that, that inbox kind of solves for me. So when an idea comes to my mind, it could be for so many different things. It could be something personal. It could be as simple as like a grocery item list. It could be a content idea. It could be something that I'm working on for a current piece of content, or it could be something that is an idea that I have for a potential future tutorial or podcast series or whatever. As you can hear while I'm explaining all of that, there are multiple different places where that card might need to live. And firstly, I don't want to have that many brain dumps. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have one on every single board. In case something comes up, I can go straight to that board, whatever. Because not only does that require me to stop long enough to figure out, well, where does this actually fit into my workflow? What board do I need to go to? But then I also have too many sources of truth as far as ideas and things like that. So that's kind of why I love the inbox, because it's outside of any particular board. It is its own entity and can be accessed from all of my boards. It looks exactly the same, which is so great, because then that means that when the idea comes to my mind, no matter what it's for, all I have to do is go into the inbox to create the card. And then I can come in here on a weekly basis or whatever and look through. You can see here, I'm also kind of using this as a little bit of a resource spot for myself. I need to clean through this a little bit. There's a little too much clutter in my inbox right now. But I can come in here and I can say, okay, this particular thing actually belongs on, my YouTube parking lot board. And so I could go to that board and grab it and drag it into the correct context. I love being able to do that later, because it allows me to actually brain dump the way that I need to and not have to think so much and process and figure out where something belongs just because it popped into my mind. So that's one of the things I love. I also love the fact that Android, which is what I have, and I'm sure iPhone has it too, has an inbox specific widget for your phone. So I don't even have to navigate to the inbox. It's literally just right there on my screen, and I can just click the plus sign and create the card right there. And another cool aspect of it is that, maybe the idea that I had, that thing that I wrote down, isn't actually a task that needs to mix in with the rest of my workflow. Maybe it's just a one-off thing I needed to remember to do. I can just do it from here and then mark it complete, and it'll get archived. So it never even has to touch any of my boards, which means that it has a much less likelihood of going stale on one of my boards. So let me just show you real quick what this looks like. So I'm just going to create a couple of little dummy cards. So let's just say here's an idea. Oops. Idea for the podcast. Let's say I need to follow up with a client. And then let's say that, like I said earlier, like there's, buy shampoo. I don't know, whatever. So these are all things that might come into my mind at any moment that I can add from my phone into the inbox. And then I can come in here and say, okay, where do these things belong? So then like the podcast idea, if it's something that I already know I want to do right now, I could go to that quarter's content board. Or if it's something that's a future idea, I can just go to my YouTube parking lot and I could just come here and drag it in, right? Maybe put it in my parked ideas and then I could come back to it later. So I think it's just, even though it's so simple, it's so powerful to have this option that no matter what I'm in the middle of, I could be literally working on something for a client board, or I could be working on a piece of content. An idea comes to my mind. I don't have to leave the board I'm on to go capture it. I just open the inbox, write it down, and then I can close this and get back to what I'm doing. It's kind of the equivalent of having a notepad, on your bedside table, so that if something comes to you while you're laying in bed, you can just sit up, write it down really quick, and then actually go back to sleep, right? It's the same kind of concept, and it works super well for me. But I did say I was going to circle back to this situation, why I would still potentially use the mind dump, especially if you are doing my simple to-do list for teams, because while the personal and the business are no longer as necessary because those things can be in your inbox, the delegated tasks are different because we are using it in a different way, right? We are adding items to a checklist so that it will convert into a linked card, right? So I'm going to add the item. I'm going to let it convert into the linked card. And then this item I'm going to be sending to someone else, right? So I would be filling out a bunch of information, and then I would be moving it potentially to someone else's board for them to get it done, right? So there are different purposes for this type of mind dump card and list versus the inbox. Also, if you haven't seen the inbox and everything it's capable of yet, I'm going to make sure to link to a video where I showed some of that. I'll do it up here and then also make it the end screen as well so that you can check out, because there's so much more to inbox than just what I'm showing right now. I just wanted to make sure that you guys understood how it can fit into the workflow and how it can really simplify getting all of that great information and awesome ideas out of your head without taking you out of the flow. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. I hope you liked it, and more importantly, I hope you found it helpful. If you did, make sure you like this video, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel, all the things to help grow this channel and make this community something that I can give even more of my time and attention to. And if you really liked this video, share it with somebody else that you think will find it helpful as well. The online tools for your business do not need to be complicated and overwhelming. It's time to let it be easy.